this video we will see about environment variables. It is use of environment variable and how to use environment variable. Environment variables are used to store and reuse values within request or within Postman script. We will see this with example how these values are actually stored and how we can use it within our request. So let's get started with actual demonstration. So on your screen you can see one get type of a request which is trying to get some information from server when a page variable is passed with 150 as value. So you can see I get some response when I send this request. Now in top right corner you will see this environment quick look icon, a eye-shaped icon. If you click on this icon, you will see that there are no active environments, and you will see that there is one environment and another is global. These two things are actually scope of environment. If you set a global environment, it will automatically get reflected in each and every place within your Postman. If you select environment, add an environment type scope, the variable, when you set this variable you have to select scope from this option. So we will just go ahead with first type of scope and we will click on add. So I will create my sample environment here, just name it, and then we have this variable. For this request, I know that this request req.res.in base URL, it is same for all different requests. Like if I go for post, this part base URL is same, and it's same for get. I can go ahead and just change it with some different value such as base URL, and I will set this as an initial value, and that's it. Initial value and current value is same because we just want that same value. Initial value is first time whatever we set. Current value is when we change value, we can set for per request, that is current value, but for our case it is same. So just go ahead and save, and now we can use this variable in our request. How it is used, that I will show you now. Just remove this part because we know that this part is now pointed by a variable. We have saved a base URL variable here. So base URL is equal to this. So within this Postman, instead of writing this entire HTTPS, we can just write base URL in double curly braces. But here you can see we are getting this red color error, that is, this is unresolved variable. To resolve this variable, you just simply have to go into this top right corner once again and select this variable, environment variable, sample environment. And now if you click on this icon, you will see that base URL is equal to https req.res.in. And if you hover over this base URL, now you can see that your current value is actually the base URL value will be replaced with https req.res.in. Now let me go ahead and try sending this request. Yeah, we got a response. Let me change this. Yes, we are getting the response from the server. Even if you try and make a curl request for this Postman request, it is still properly created because this environment variable is replaced with value of that environment variable. If I have another request within same collection or in any collection, I can just go ahead and replace this part with this, and now I even have a post request with the environment variable, and done. Okay, now I will just give you one example where in your project you can use environment variables. So let's go into edit environment variable options once again. So let's say this base URL is QA base URL, so base QA URL for example, and you also have dev environment or some other environment. Let me call it dev environment for this example, and which has different URL. So dev URL, and we can assume that that URL is something like dev.reqres.in, right? and I will just save it here. So if I just change, so this was my QA. So now I have this way of changing this entire request easily from QA to dev environment by just changing this variable. So when I write this base QA URL, this request will go to QA server, to server, which is pointing by this variable. If I change it to dev variable, this request will go to dev server, which will be pointed by dev.reqres.in. So this is one of the use of environment variable. Even parameters can be set as environment variable, or headers can be set as an environment variable. I will show you one more way of creating environment variable. Let's say you want to have environment variable for this page parameter value. Just double click on this value and click on set variable. So now this is your 151 is value, and you can give name as page to this variable. Select scope. As I said, global scope is for entire Postman, and you don't have to explicitly select environment from here. For this example, we are using environment scope, so I will set it into environment and set. So you can see that 151 is replaced with page and double curly braces, and in runtime value will be replaced by 151. Let's go ahead and fire this URL. I will just fall back to the correct environment variable which has correct server URL, and I will send this request. So you can see that we can still get a request, and even a curl is created correctly. There is advanced use of environment variable which is used in scripts. So you can also access environment variable or set environment variables with scripts in Postman. Right side you have few snippets example, and I will just show you one of the example set environment variable. So here as well you can select for any of the environment and set its value, and you can see that our environment variable from this setting has been changed with environment variable which we used in script. So script has higher precision. You can also get environment variable, replace environment variables with the help of script, which is a little bit of advanced tutorial which I will create later. So we have covered some basic high level understanding of environment variable in this tutorial. If you like this tutorial, or if you understand this tutorial well, please click on the like button, and if you have any questions, complaint or suggestion, please use comment section. Thank you very much for watching our video.